Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 3POA podcast, episode 8. Coming to you 1 week early because I'm going to be out of town next weekend. But I am your host, Laserpants, and I am joined by my friend, Mr. Tony Roberts of Analog Toys. What's up, Tony?
Hey, man, I was watching the small icon down the bottom of you, and you and me were both like, that intro is not getting old, is it?
No, man. You found the best music for that intro. I love it.
Yeah, it was. I had to pay a license to be able to use it. It was like $30 or something, but yeah, well worth the investment. Yeah, I think in the next couple of episodes, I might just change up some of the clips that are in there. I've still got my Adobe Premiere file, so but yeah, that song's not going away. I love that.
Yeah, me too. Bobby's running a little late, so we'll get to him later. But we're joined for the first time on the show. Friend of the channel and my buddy, Sal of 2 Cent Toys. What's up, Sal?
Oh, hello and salutations. I'm Sal. And yeah, that song fucking slaps.
So, Sal, since I got you on the show, there's someone here that would like to say something to you.
So,
come on.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Gavin.
There you go.
Hello. Sal, I would just like to thank you so much for the Bowser's airship.
Oh, anytime, bud. Anytime.
That's cool.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Thank you so much. This is really awesome.
What do we call you, little man? Are you Laser Shorts or
Laser Kid?
Laser Kid? Nice to meet you.
What do you want him to call you?
Call me anytime.
All right.
Oh.
Well, Gavin wanted to thank you in person.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Because he about lost his mind when that thing showed up at the house.
Yeah, I tell you, I've been watching that thing on Amazon for months where it's like pre-order. I was like just waiting for it to go to buy it now. And I was like, sold.
Yeah, he had seen that at the store a few times. And I'm a sucker. I mean, I'll buy him. Like, if it's a toy, I'm like, okay, let's get it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I had passed up on that one a few times. I'm like, no, not this time. Just, be patient and wait. So I'm a big hypocrite because I'm not patient at all. But, yeah, he wanted to thank you in person. He hasn't put that thing down since it arrived. So thanks, man.
Absolutely. I was happy to do it.
And look who the cat drug in. Mr. Bobby, what's up?
What's up, gang?
Just running a little late today, huh?
Just a little. I mean,
look, he's delayed like his toy line.
What was that?
Oh,
what was that?
I said you were delayed like your toy line.
Hey, man, doesn't stop scalpers from selling it.
Yeah.
No. If that slammer on eBay sells for 500, screw the fans.
I wish you didn't say it.
Why?
I wish you didn't say it because now someone's actually going to buy it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
No, they're not. Unless you put all of them on eBay.
Don't worry. By the time this show is done, that guy's going to be blacklisted from buying from me. I know exactly who it is. So you guys think that checking that box when you buy something thinks that I'm not going to take it seriously, I'm 100% going to take it seriously. So,
serious question for you, Bobby. I've been thinking about this all week.
mhm.
What is better, Conan the Destroyer or Commando?
Ooh, Conan the Destroyer is better. As much as I love Commando, like I love Commando, but Destroyer, like I guess it comes down to if I had to pick one of those two movies that I had to watch for the rest of my life, it would definitely be Destroyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't think you can go wrong with either choice there. It's like trying to choose between two of your action figures,
Easy.
They're your babies.
Well, we are here to talk about Action Force customizations, kit bashes, etc. This line is so customizable. I mean, it just as far as swapping parts, heat and pop, you got different options with the gear packs. And so it felt like a good show topic, and it was a good chance to have some prizes to give away. First, let's get to some super chats. The Canuck. Thank you very much. He says, what 1/12 scale vehicles have you all found? Military vehicles. I have an RC, like it's 1/10 scale, which is actually a better scale for like Action Force, Marvel Legends. I don't remember the brand name, but I got it off of Bang Goods. It's a 1/10 scale Jeep, like military green. It's pretty good. There's not quite enough room for a figure in the seat, so I'm gonna have to like modify the interior so that like a Steel Brigade can fit in it.
You said 1/10 scale?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. This is a 1/12 scale truck, and then I've got that Humvee I've got is 1/10. 1/10 scale radio controlled stuff actually suits these 6-inch figures way better. If you go 1/12, you'll actually find the vehicle's a little bit too small.
Yeah. If you're looking for just like normal civilian cars, they're out there. There's an old toy line from the 70s called Gay Toys. That's the actual name. Don't Google it. You won't find toys. You won't find 1/12 scale vehicles. But they made a lot of good, just like plastic shell. I think I have like a Camaro, and I have some like old Hoopty. And then, believe it or not, in the early 2000s, the Bratz line of dolls, their vehicles scale perfectly with stuff Marvel Legends scale. So I have like their Cadillac. I have a couple of their Cadillacs. They also made like a stretch limo, like a SUV limo. So there's options out there. Sal, you got anything?
Just I'm itching, but I have shampoo for that.
Who told you to put the bomb on? I didn't tell you to put the bomb on. You put the bomb on?
That's right. Hit that powder. But I'm not too terribly big into vehicles personally. I have some of the Black Series vehicles. I have a couple of the motorcycles they keep churning out, but space is a premium, man. Like if I'm gonna get a vehicle, it's gonna be a one and done kind of deal.
For sure, yeah. That reminds me.
Anything from the Coleco Rambo line is awesome.
Yes.
Speaking of, I just got in my my Savage Strike playset. Man, they made them good in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I heard that was actually kind of fragile.
Reclaimers.
So good. Ryan, you got to get one. So good.
Okay. I heard it's actually kind of fragile.
No,
Tony. Beyond, it is definitely fragile because the supports are not made out of PVC; they're made out of polypropylene. So when polypropylene snaps, you cannot glue it. So the one that I have, he put like metal rods in two areas that it was fixed. Now I could feel like when you're bending it, this stuff's 30 years old. Like polypropylene can snap really easily, and like I said, it's you can't glue it at all. So it's definitely fragile. I mean, some of the attachments for the guns that go on the rails, they're it's not like putting together maybe like a Defiant. Like it's not fragile like a Defiant, but it's definitely fragile.
There's also the Cowabunga Carl Turtle Van. It was from the Turtles line in like the early 2000s.
Okay.
I got that. You strip it down, you paint it all black. I had a friend of mine do it for me. It makes a beautiful Punisher van. It's got like computer screens and stuff in the back, tons of room. You know, the front opens up, you put Punisher in it. It's awesome. He even installed like LED lights where the headlights were. So it's all lit up. Yeah, it's real nice.
Also, I mean, I don't know if it's available yet, but if you have money to set on fire and you really hate yourself, Super 7 does have the Thunder Tank coming out.
I love you, Sal.
I know another company working on vehicles right now.
You do?
Yeah, Valaverse.
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 Is that like a hot dog company?
Tony wishes it was.
It's the German branch of Valaverse.
We got another super chat here from Jeff McElway. Thank you very much. He says, do you guys prefer light or dark beer for reasons? 10 years ago, I would have said dark beer, but if I'm going to have a beer now, it's probably going to be like a Miller High Life or something.
Yeah, I go light, cheap American.
Tony? Foster's?
Yeah, look, I have light beers in the fridge, you know, when I drink at home. But if I go to the pub, I drink a dark beer. But let's be honest, if there was no alcohol left in the house, I'd drink paint thinners if I had to on whatever's going.
Sal, do you drink?
I have not touched alcohol since 2018.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
When I did, I liked light beer at home, but if it was from a tap, I prefer dark beer.
Yeah, same with me, Sal.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. And then we've got one from James Salzberg. Thank you very much. He says, F the scalpers and F FOMO. I forgot to order a Spec Ops. My bad. I'll miss out. There is a great 110 JJRCG. That's probably the one I have for sure. And it is good. I just got to like cut out the flooring so that the legs can fit in there of a figure. I mean, thank you, James. And someone mentioned the Slambulance, the Mattel WWE Slambulance, and I have that.
Yeah,
so if you want to,
that one's a good size.
Yeah, it's perfect size. I picked that up there. I see them at Target still to this day, sitting on the shelf, and I think it's like $40. So that's another good 112-ish scale vehicle. So one thing that came up when we were talking about doing this competition, this customizing competition, is, well, are we just going to do kit bashes, or, you know, is it going to be like full-on customs? And Tony, you were like, well, what's the difference?
Yeah.
So what is the difference? Sal, I know there's some talk about this, but you kind of gave us your thoughts in our PM thread.
Right. Yeah. It's so there's schools of thought on it, and I fall into a camp where technically any modification done to something that, you know, doesn't look like that in the package, even a head swap, would technically make it into a custom in the loosest definition. But some people say this is a kit bash, this is a custom. To me, kit bashing is just a method of customizing where you're taking existing parts and you're just swapping them around, which technically creates a custom, but it's a kit bashed custom. Where I think in the purest form of saying this is a custom is something where you've done something irreparable, where it's like you've cut a peg, or you've done something where you can't just put the genie back in the bottle. So it's like a permanent alteration.
Yeah, the way I look at it is if I have to Dremel, paint, or, you know, cut away sculpt or add sculpt, that is now a custom. But if I'm just heating and popping, swapping parts, to me that's just a kit bash, which is fine. I mean, you know, it's nothing wrong with that. It's cool. Yeah. Look, the stuff I'm showing tonight is 100% kit bashed. I have not had time to like do any customizing in quite a while.
I've got, if we go by those kind of rules, I've got one custom and everything else. I've got about 6 kit bashes here.
There you go.
I've got 5 kit bashes and 3 customs.
All right. Well, let's see.
What you got, Bobby?
Say again.
So what have you got, Bobby? You got any there?
I do. I've got 4 here, but I mean, there's 2 more up there. But I took I have 4 that I put together. When Sal was here one day, we kind of sat in here and we just took a bunch of figures apart. And I'm like you, Tony. I've been a customizer in the past, but I'd rather something in its truest form. So like the way it was issued, the way I bought it, like that's it. Like when you buy the toy, like that's how it is for me. You know, it's like if I can make a great version, like, yeah, like I see when Michael did the Hoth Luke, I'm like, wow, that makes it really good. Or, you know, the Indiana Jones, I'm like, that's awesome. Makes the perfect version. But I also probably wouldn't do it. I'm more like, listen, this is how it was, like how it was issued, how it was meant to be. That's the way it is. Nothing against customizing. Like you want to, you know.
Yeah, it's just a personal preference.
Yeah, it's just a personal preference. I just like them as they are. So to me, it's like designing this line, like they were meant to look like this. So to me, that's how I want them. But at the same time, I definitely meant, you know, I made the line to, you know, allow for customization. So I figured, why not do a little bit of it? And it's, you know, it's fun, it's cool, but at the same time, I'm just like, part of me wants to put them back together the way they should be, you know? So.
So just to go off of what you were saying, where like you don't like to basically destroy your figure to make a new figure, you want it like it came in the box.
Mm-hmm.
When I do like a full-on customization, like if I'm doing painting and stuff like that, I usually buy extra figures of whatever I need, the parts I need, in order to do that. Like, so if it's a figure I like and I'm collecting the line, like for instance that Hoth Luke, I would have one in my collection that is the way it came, and then I would have a second that I have customized for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
So before we show some of the kit bashes and customizations we have, let's get to this super chat. A World Made of Cardboard. Thank you very much. He says, what is the first custom you ever made? Mine, Empire Strikes Back Hoth Luke body, Return of the Jedi Luke head, Empire Strikes Back Forlom Zuckuss coat, my favorite Doctor Who figure. Okay.
Would that be Jack Harkness, maybe? I'm having a hard time. The coat's what's kind of throwing me. They're World Made of Cardboard.
I've never seen Doctor Who, so I will be no help.
So these guys were awesome to customize when I was a kid because the arms popped off. You could swap them over with other figures, and so did the legs. You had to be careful with the legs because you could break this piece here. But I would swap Rambo's legs out with Gripper's legs, so he had camouflage trousers and stuff like that. And yeah, first time I ever remember in childhood actually like swapping parts over on a figure. You could swap the arms and legs on Kaliko's Rambo. So
yeah, for me it was 3 3/4 GI Joes. I remember taking the screw out and swapping legs and stuff like that between figures. Bobby, did you get up to show something?
I did. So since this is a customizing kind of podcast, what better time to actually talk about this? I was actually going to send this in our group chat to show you guys, and I forgot about it. But when I went to my parents' house in New Jersey for Christmas, my dad had said, "Oh, I think I found some of your old stuff." Now I thought like everything was gone. I thought, you know, when I moved out and stuff, anything I left there, I was like, yeah, you could just toss it. And I remember that there was a Batman the Animated Series collector's case there. And it was in the attic, and I said, man, I remember that being full of good stuff. Too bad it's not there. And I thought that like, you know, a couple of years ago. And then I go there, and this is sitting like in their living room. And I was like, greatest Christmas gift ever was finding this. Now, in this is just nothing but randomness and customs that I did as a kid. So they're all kind of beat up and stuff, but I got a tester's model paint kit in the early 90s for Christmas one year. And man, I went to town. Now these are really bad. Just keep in mind, but I'm going to show you some of the ones I made. Now this, I know what figure this is, and it kills me that this is a combat belt Batman because it's so rare. But I made an Azrael Batman out of it.
Nice.
I made a Nightwing out of Robin because they didn't make a Nightwing at the time. What else did I do that's in here? So this is for those of you Transformers fans out there, I believe it's the Pretender series. I had this big, I forget what he was called, Grimskull, I think, something like that. And at the time, they didn't make a Doomsday figure, so I like painted one. You know, like this is his back half. I don't know where the front half is, but I painted him, green over the pink to make him look like Doomsday because he was big and he kind of looked a little bit like Doomsday.
Man, you have the Man Bat. I always wanted that Man Bat as a kid.
Oh yeah, and he's still kind of in good shape. So here's Shiwan Khan from the Shadow line. Let's see, I got custom coupe Bruce Wayne in here. This is a good one. If Michael is listening, I took my Will Scarlet from the Robin Hood line and made 90s Superboy out of him.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Bam. I think that's it for the customs in here. But this is all full of like random stuff. Like I got that dude from the Toxic Avengers line. There's all sorts of cool stuff in here, but that's kind of it. But I was so happy that my dad found this because I was like, man, just having like these shitty painted customs alone, I'm gonna like put these on display. But I've gotten better at painting, but still,
I mean, for a kid,
huh?
No, for a kid that looks pretty good, man.
I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like 8 years old. But
I used whiteout on my Luke Stormtrooper because he was yellow, so I covered him in whiteout. That was horrible. Those are definitely detail worthy. That's
they are. I just got to find the time to start setting them up.
Greg Finstad said those are not shitty. All right. Well, before we get into the fan submissions, why don't we show off some of the stuff we've done with Action Force? Sal, since you're the guest, you want to go first?
Sure.
I'm just going to grab a beer. Anyone want a beer?
I'll take one.
I'll be back in a sec.
Oh my goodness.
He's such a savage. Man.
Sal, you okay over there?
Yep, I'm all set.
All right.
Good. So that's my first kit bash of the night. I call this the "I'm too old for this shit" Sarge. So.
Nice. So you got like a Carrick head on the.
Yeah, it's Carrick's head on Sarge's torso with Carrick's lower half with Sarge's weapons.
Nice. So you went ahead and did the arm swap then?
No, I left the arms there. That's Sarge's torso.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yep. So we got that one. Let's see who's next.
I've seen other people do this before. Is put the Marine cover on the Carrick head and sort of do something similar to that. And I'm like, every time I see it, it always looks a little bit like Fidel Castro when I see it.
A little bit, yeah. So then I've got younger Carrack, I guess. So it's Urban Trooper bottom with Carrack torso and Bone Collector's head.
Nice.
So these are all fairly simple. So
clean shaven Carrack.
That's right. Good Lord, I have dinosaurs that live above me, evidently. All right, so let's move on to the ones I actually kind of like. We'll start with this guy. So here we go. All right, here we go. That's my Night Operations Condor.
Cool.
I wanted to keep his original armor because of the Union Jack on it, but I was like, it's kind of blue, and he's supposed to be very subdued in color. Mm-hmm. So that's the Spec Op Trooper, that's Bone Collector's torso, Riot Gear Pack. Actually, that's pretty much just Bone Collector. Yeah, it's Bone Collector with a Riot Gear vest and Condor's sidearm in his pouch and his head. So.
Yeah, you could probably find like a water slide decal of the Union Jack for him.
I have some, Sal.
Oh,
next time you're here, I'll give you some.
Outstanding. So I'll just go ahead and move this guy. Yeah, my camera's lagging a little bit. This one, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking with it. I just like the way the colors looked. So I kind of like the black with the tan.
Yeah, the Spec Ops with the urban gear looks really cool.
Yep. So that's Spec Op torso, urban gear pack, Spec Op head, and Condor's lower half.
Nice.
So, pretty simple. And the last of the kit bashes, and this one's my favorite just because the color scheme works really well. I actually did this when I was hanging out with Bobby. I don't know why, but I love the colors on this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Whose bottom half is that? I think that's Urban Trooper bottom half, Condor torso, Condor's extra balaclava head, and Bone Collector's armor. So pretty
Cool.
simple, straightforward kind of stuff. So let's move all this out of the way. I guess I'll show off this thing. So this is not a figure, but if you follow me on Instagram, and I also posted this in the Legions group, this is my customized flight pack post crash.
So good. So good.
That's awesome. There's collectors out there screaming right now.
Well, I can tell people basically how because I didn't film this process. How I did it is I basically took it, I painted the whole thing in silver, and then, or I'm sorry, I did the damages, then painted the whole thing in silver, and then tried to replicate the colors on top of it. That's why there's kind of some silver bleeding through. I took a wood burner, which mine is not here. I would show you which one I used, and I essentially melted the wings off.
Wow.
I also had to crack it open so I could remove enough to make these things fold down completely. So did that, had the damages, added some mud, all that kind of stuff. So
That would definitely be in the custom category,
Right.
I think, over kit bashing.
I don't think I can return this back to normal.
No.
So I also cut out the flame thrusters at the bottom because it wouldn't make sense for it to still be on. You know what I mean?
That's really cool. Yeah. James Salzberg says, I love the battle damage.
Thank you. And
Look, I got one too.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I made Bobby one. That's the only one I'll ever make because I don't know about you, but I don't like breathing in melting plastic smell. It took like a day for the smell to leave. So for those that
Yeah,
don't
and you have
know,
a headache for a week.
that is my Steel Brigade Icarus. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see in the dossier that I made. My dossier for this Steel Brigade is that he's a former Swarm Trooper, and now he's Steel Brigade. So if you want to look in that backstory, it's on Instagram. I even posted it in the Legion group, so just go read it there. But yeah, I added a little bit of yellow to the front because I wanted him to look like a Steel Brigade. I didn't want to just, kit bash a Swarm and a Steel Brigade together and call that a new character. I wanted to make him a Steel Brigade, but just a little bit different. So he's got some yellow on his muzzle there, and he's using, I guess, kind of Steel Brigade color variant versions of the Swarm weapons. And on his back, I drew on some bug wings to kind of
Nice.
drive that point home. And I wrote bug on the back of his helmet because someone was being a jackass and wrote bug on his helmet because he's formerly a Swarm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's that whole character. And for the last one that I have to show, this is a debut for this one. And if you want to see how I did it, the video is coming out on my channel on Tuesday. So I filmed the whole thing. And this is also Icarus.
Wow.
It's awesome.
So the long story short, how they found Icarus, the Swarm and Action Force came into contact with each other. Icarus got shot down, and they found him. And then his little Neuralink's all fucked up. So they're like, oh, we'll fix him, we'll bring him back, and now he's a Steel Brigade. So, I cut open the armor here on the side with an impact, so his collarbone's broken. I cut his little things down here, so they're all snapped and broken. I took the C-grip hands for cradling the rifles. Heated them up until I could lay them flat, and then I split the fingers open so I can move those around if need be. So
That's awesome, man.
All different shades of messed up. So
This guy looks like he just crawled out of the Sarlacc pit.
he has a better character development so far, I'd say.
Yeah.
Damn straight he does, Sal.
The
You
job.
actually put some thought into it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the video comes out on Tuesday if you want to watch how I did it. So it was labor intensive.
Cool. That's on the 2 Cent Toys channel
Correct.
on YouTube, and everyone should
Link in the
subscribe to you.
description, folks. Link in the description. Make sure you check out Sal's channel.
Well, if it was a competition just among the four of us, I think Sal would be the obvious winner. Just wait till you see mine. It's like, okay.
You're saying that before you've even seen mine, Ryan.
Oh, that's
Come
true.
on.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, good point. Good point. All right, well, let's see him, Tony.
Well, the first one I'm showing here, this is what I call Night Ops Swarm. A bit like I actually just made this one up just to have something extra to have to show on the podcast. He will probably just get changed back into a normal swarm after the show. Well, I like the look of it anyway.
Nice.
Some real basic kit bashes here. I've got my Steel Brigade Grenadier. I've given him the vest from the Urban Warfare set because the normal Steel Brigade vest doesn't have 40mm grenades in it. To me, when I'm kit bashing, it has to make sense. So for him to have, M16 magazines in his vest and no grenades when he's carrying a grenade launcher, it didn't make sense. So I gave him a different vest. And then this very simple kit bash, but one I really like, is my unhelmeted Steel Brigade.
Oh, killer. Nice. I dig that. Man.
Now we get into a few more of the interesting ones. This is one that I've bought extra figures to make this kit bash. What I wanted was to have kind of a the older, kind of the most senior man in the SAS regiment who could be, both Desert Rat and Condor's kind of big boss. I call this guy the Raz Man. The reason I call him the Raz Man, it's army slang in the British Army for the regimental sergeant major, the RSM. You call him the Raz Man. So bone collector's trousers, Kerax boots, Condor's torso, and obviously the badge on there. I've given him the black backpack. But you'll see here, the kukri knife is a knife that a lot of British SAS guys use out in the jungle. So I actually took the sheath off the back of a bone collector vest and glued it onto a thigh strap so he could have the kukri on his thigh. So I like the look of this guy. He's like the one guy in Action Force that Condor and Desert Rat are shit scared of. Got two more here. One, I believe, is like a genuine custom, and one's a kit bash. But just before that, Bobby, do you remember when Gracie was, we were going through the prototype, and she was like, the prototype of Desert Rat, and she was like, the ass isn't right, the body's not right, that's not what you look like now. And I was like, look, I know you said we weren't going to use parts from other toy lines, but I was like, look, I've got to give, Desert Rat a much more accurate body. So this is my lifelike Desert Rat.
Yeah, man. The resemblance is
I
uncanny.
I worked on that figure, so I guess I'll say it's okay.
Yeah, that's why I chose him, because I knew you made the figure. It actually makes his neck look really long.
Yeah.
No, this guy here, I'm going to call this guy a custom because I have permanently modified Bone Collector's mask. So I had to cut the strap and trim it down so he could actually wear it as a piece of shoulder armor. I've also removed the knife sheath from a Steel Brigade vest and glued it onto strap or one of the over-the-shoulder bags. I drilled a hole in the side of the backpack so I could attach the shotgun sheath from Kerak. And I call this guy the Butcher. He's one of the Bone Collector's henchmen. Pure psychopath. I like it.
Awesome.
And my final one I've got here, Bobby, I was heavily inspired by your Big Bad Toy Store exclusive for the Night Ops Steel Brigade. So I wanted to make a Night Ops Condor. And a lot of, this is a kit bash, but a lot of kind of, I think, thought went into this, trying to match up the color schemes and everything. And that is my Night Ops Condor.
Nice.
I particularly like what I did with the helmet, where I took a green helmet but put the black wheel protection and black night vision from the Riot gear set. So I made sure the weapons matched in color. That's a Bone Collector torso, Kerak trousers, Condor boots. Got the backpack there. And
that's awesome.
This guy is going to be staying like that. I'm going to keep him as a Night Ops Condor in the display for when I eventually get my 4 Big Bad Toy Store exclusives. He can kind of be up the squad member of that school.
All you got was 4?
Yeah. What the?
Oh man,
4?
Some salt.
I don't know, 4. Like 4's like, all right, I'm gonna show to. I'm gonna have 1 beer and I'm gonna leave. That's what 4 is. Wait, I thought you were gonna come to play, man. All right.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Total letdown. Tony, yours.
I'm deflated now.
Yours were really good, Tony. I mean, way more creative than mine. I only have a couple here.
Look,
I need a couple more Keraks and a couple more Condors, another Bone Collector. Because the main characters, I only got like 1 of each, like the named characters.
So when I was doing these, I'm kind of going through, doing the kit bashes, and I'm being very specific about wanting to get the right color scheme. And I've got doubles of a lot of figures so that I can make these customs. I like Bobby was saying, I want to have a minimum of one example of every core character as they came out of the packaging. But when you're swapping them around, it's like, I really like that Bone Collectors, the mag pouches and the pistol holster on his thigh, they have a silver kind of backing plate. And when you end up putting these figures together, it's like I only take like 2 bits from Bone Collector, the boots from Kerak, and a gun from a weapons pack, and I was really mixing a lot of elements together, and I love the way this guy looks.
Yeah, it looks like the first Kickstarter version of Condor a little bit.
I was kind of inspired by that, but then I took the reason he's got his original green boots on is so it matches the Big Bad Toy Store Night Ops Steel Brigade and all of that. But yeah, I tried the helmet the other way with like the black helmet and the green ear protection and night vision, but this is how it ended up looking the best. I like it. It's almost as good as this, lifelike desert rat body we got here.
Yeah, sure. We have a super chat here from Orlando Higgins. Thank you very much. He says, Bobby, I need that Desert Trooper so I can create a couple of customs of myself from my time in Iraq and Afghanistan for my son. Great line.
Hold tight, buddy. Hold tight.
Thank you, Orlando. Well, I'll go next because what I have is pretty sad. When I have more time and more parts, I'll definitely do more. But I got 2 Sarges, and one of them I actually with the tiniest bit of super glue, I just glued his glasses on one of the heads, and so I had an extra body, right? And so I took Urban Trooper legs and I put the Sarge. Let's see here. I put the Sarge torso on him, and then I put a Marvel Legends Old Man Logan head on it, which the skin tone matches up perfectly. I couldn't believe it. It's spot on. So I got an Old Man Logan in my Action Force collection, and then with the
hold on. Whoops. So I've pre-ordered 4 Night Ops Steel Brigades, and Bobby's giving me shit. And you just said you only got 2 Sarges, and he says nothing. Fucking favoritism.
Yeah, I mean it's Sarge. It's a guy. Like, it's a character. Like, you bought 4 of a exclusive greatest figure in the line troop builder. Like,
you know how many I got?
how many, Ryan?
8. Is that not enough either?
No. I was laughing at Tony.
I mean, according to Noah, I should have 15.
Right.
Wait, let me ask you this, Tony. How many desert rats did you buy?
2.
What?
Can we take him out of the street?
Hold on. Let me take him out.
And
there we go. Much better. The show's much better now. Okay.
it's a fucking mutiny here on my own channel.
Oh, Tony, we love you.
Oh, fuck you all.
Just slightly less now. God, that Avatar, man.
It's awesome, isn't
God.
it?
Jesus.
Okay.
What you do at your free time, man, scares me.
Leave me out of it. So my next
this is just what I can put on here without getting kicked off YouTube.
Jesus.
My next sad kit bash here is I had, like I said, the leftover parts from Sarge, and I had legs from. Oh, those are Sarge's legs. Okay, so I just took the Urban Trooper torso with Sarge's legs and popped Sarge's head on it. So, I don't know. It's fine. And then my last one, I wanted my Steel Brigade commander to look a little different. So I just put some Urban Trooper legs on him with the gold head. And then I actually do have another Condor on pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store. Hey, Bobby, when is Big Bad Toy Store shipping? Can you? Because I'm waiting.
Well, let me see, because it's been a while. I haven't heard this question in about 2 minutes. Their stuff shipped from the factory, I think 2 days, no more than 2 days after mine. They took their own carrier service. I paid for expedited shipping. They chose their carrier, and their carrier has not delivered yet, just because it's dealing with the delays in the in the bay in California. So I don't control it. I know a lot of people are like, when are you going to ship Big Bad their stuff? I don't ship Big Bad their stuff. Big Bad ship their stuff themselves. They're a great partner. I love working with them. They just chose a different carrier. So I wish people would stop asking me, because I don't control that. But I'm sure I'll get that question probably 7 or 8 more times before the night's over.
Yeah. Big Bad's order is probably in a container on a boat at the port, waiting to be unloaded.
It is. It's at the port. It's currently at the port. Like, it's been sitting there for a couple months now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just waiting to get unloaded with the other 50 container ships. So,
50, probably like 500 container ships there.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I was going to say, I do have a Condor on pre-order from Big Bad, and I'm going to use parts from him to make another Steel Brigade commander, because I'm going to have 9 basic Steel Brigades when my Big Bad order comes in. I have 8 now, so I have 1 more coming. And so I'll have 2 commanders, and then they'll each have a squad of 4. So that's what I got. That's it. It's not much, but I got, a couple extra bodies, and I have a box here of all my extra Urban Troopers and Spec Ops that I have not opened yet. Just waiting on some more gear packs. And then I'll outfit them, kit bash them. And eventually I will do some full-on customizing. That's all I got. Let's get to some super chats before we get to Bobby's. Skyfall, thank you very much. He says, Desert Rat, what would be your ideal catchphrase? Nothing I can't handle. What's Desert Rat's catchphrase?
You can't catch AIDS when you're drunk. No, seriously. Up the guts with lots of smoke. I remember being on a like a section commander's course and being assessed for giving quick battle orders and stuff, and it's a simulated kind of contact engagement we're going through. But I turned around to my kind of fire team, and I was like, and I sort of yelled out, right, up the guts with lots of smoke, and I literally just threw a smoke grenade out in front of us. And a bit like episode 5 of Band of Brothers, we just charged through the smoke. So that would be my catchphrase.
Cool.
Also, you can't catch AIDS when you're drunk.
Thank you, Skyfall.
Words
we got a super chat here from Analog Toys. Okay.
Would you like me to read this one?
Yes.
Yes, please, Sal.
But Bobby, when Big Bad shipping Action Force pre-orders?
I mean, that was about 2 minutes. You called it. About 2 minutes. So,
yep.
Is that the next meme? It used to be, are you going to do vehicles? Now it's, when is Big Bad shipping?
Yeah, I'm glad. Like, finally, I got rid of the vehicles one, but shit, now I got this.
And let's be clear. I use Big Bad all the time. I like Big Bad. They're a great retailer. But, I mean, look, there's worldwide shipping issues, and we got to be patient. I'm waiting on a lot of stuff from Big Bad.
And that's something I wanted to address, just to piggyback on that, to coin a phrase. I tried to address that in the Valaverse group the other day. I would try to give people perspective, like, yeah, Big Bad's taken a while. I pre-order Big Bad all day long. At least they're not Megalopolis. If Megalopolis had still been around, it was like, yeah, we'll take money on orders for Action Force, then not deliver, period. I think people need a little bit of perspective on that.
A lot of people got burned by Megalopolis.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, there you go. We got one from Daniel Dorian. Thank you very much. He says, with the topic of tonight's show, I'm quite surprised Toy Polloi isn't here tonight. Don't get any ideas for future shows, Ryan. Wink, wink. Hey, I love Toy Polloi. Me and Sal did a stream with him for Iconicon last year.
We did.
Yeah, we definitely have Dave on as a guest one time, but this is specifically about Valaverse Action Force customs, and I don't know if Toy Polloi is even bought into the line at this stage. It'll be hard for him to come on here and talk about Action Force customs if he doesn't have any of the figures. So, but yeah, we'll definitely have Toy Polloi on a show one day.
Yeah, he's more. I mean, he's almost strictly vintage collector and vintage toy restorer. He does awesome work restoring vintage toys. So thank you, Daniel. And then we got one from Carlo Navarro. Thank you very much. He says, what a treat seeing everyone's kit bashes and customs. Fantastic. I agree. Wait till we get to the contest. And then we got one from John Papa Sergio. Thanks, buddy. This guy's a friend of mine. He says, Bobby, I showed Ryan some customs I made a while back. They are 3.75 inch, but I feel if upscaled, they may work as villain designs for Action Force. Yeah. Did you send them in, John? I don't know if you sent them to Bobby, but John and our friend Daniel, who is Colossal Customs, they do a lot of good work customizing and building vehicles and stuff like that. So thank you, John.
Kieran Ball's got a question here. Bobby, what sort of vehicle would you like to design for Desert Rat?
A lazy boy. I don't care.
How about a big wheel?
A hover round?
Yeah, like a Razor scooter, maybe. Yeah.
One of those things from the Book of Boba Fett.
The most best.
You know what I should do? I should take the Deadpool Legends I did with the scooter, and I'll take that little red scooter and I'll put Desert Rat on that one.
If you've got one of those scooters, I'll buy it off you because Desert Rat would ride something. Desert Rat used to ride something like that when he lived in Thailand.
Let's see here. We are all cut up on super chats here. So we had a lot of submissions.
Hang on, we haven't seen Bobby's customs yet.
Oh, right. Bobby. Yeah. I guess
it's only his line, man. Like, come on.
I mean,
wait, hold on.
Actually, the entire line is Bobby's customs.
That's a good point, Sal.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Yeah, this line is everything that my G.I. Joe line was going to be had I been at Hasbro.
So let's see what you got. Would you keep
all right, so my first one is I went a little ahead and I did a custom of a Series 3 figure. This is my custom Pandora that I did right.
Look, Bobby, I'm not much into wrestling, but yeah, Alexa Bliss. I'd probably buy that figure.
If she was like 5 inches taller, I would want her to play Pandora, but she's a little too short. But she's, I love her.
Alex was saying Alexa's thighs are too big on that figure, and I'm like,
they are. They took. Like, I have all of her figures, and they basically, like, the Ultimates line should be, like, all new stuff and should be the best version of the figure. But all they did was they gave her new feet and new arms. The rest is what they used on her past figures. And, yeah, they made her thighs, like, too, like, cut and jacked. So I wish they would have went a little better on her. But that's all right. She still looks good. So my first one up is another version of Bone Collector. I gave him, he's got the Urban Trooper torso, he's got Special Ops legs, and he's got Carrack boots, and then Sarge thigh straps, and then I gave him the saw, and he ends up looking pretty freaking cool.
Nice.
So. That is nice, yeah.
And then I did, the next 3 are Steel Brigades. This one is just Bone Collector's vest. I like the brown vest. And then I just gave him Sarge's legs and Condor's boots. And then Bone Collector's rifle and the Commander helmet. So, pretty cool one. This one I really like. This one is the Bone Collector's legs, Special Ops torso, the Urban vest, and then the grenade launcher from the declassified set, and then a standard Steel Brigade head. So,
cool.
That grenade launcher looks awesome with that Steel Brigade head.
Yeah. I can't wait till everyone gets that stuff. Having that gunmetal grenade launcher. I forgot I had 5. This is my Richard Madden.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one. My last one is one I had wanted to do because when I kind of designed the line, I knew that this was possible, and I did it that way. This is my vintage Steel Brigade figure.
Yeah,
it's basically the Steel Brigade torso with a green backpack from the Urban set. It's Condor's legs and Bone Collector's boots, and that's how you make a classic Steel Brigade.
And what's that belt he's got there? Is that a Swarm belt you've put on?
Oh, yeah, I cut the straps off a Swarm belt and gave him that one. Yeah.
Dude, that looks cool. No, hey, Bobby, can you put some more Swarm Troopers up on the website so I can buy them and just cut up the belt?
Yeah, I'll get on that because I know,
Yeah.
Actually, there's a bunch more coming because, I don't know, someone suggested that I just keep producing these and, turn them out every couple of weeks, because that's how production
aren't you doing them made to order now for $10 each or something?
Yeah. Seems the good way to go. I love when the people that are experts in the field give me the advice on how to do it, because then it's like, hey, now we know a new direction to go in.
Yep.
I got experts on production. I got experts on plastic. I got experts on, man, you name it. There's experts out there that have been giving me amazing advice that I'm not listening to any of.
Well, I know the feeling, man. Sometimes I can be, telling an old war story, and then someone will, tell me about how they did it in Call of Duty, and I'll be like, "Oh man, I never thought of that before."
Oh well, I mean, the Swarm Trooper is selling for like over $100 now on eBay, and I would just say to those people spending that money, I get it, but just be a little bit more patient because, Bobby, you've said there's going to be some carry forward. There'll be some re-releases.
Yep.
It can't be right away. You can't just call the factory and say, "Hey, get these to me."
Yep.
You have to, get in their schedule.
Yep.
And then it takes a month to get across the water to your warehouse, and then you have to pack them up and ship them out. It's not. I mean, there's no immediate gratification with this unless you're spending over $100. And personally, I would say, I mean, just be a little patient.
Yeah. FOMO's real, man. FOMO's real.
There is some immediate gratification when you get these figures in your hand, like immediate gratification.
Like the gratification is just released immediately, like a full release.
I've got another, like my second order of Series 1 stuff. Fucking annoying me. It cleared customs on Tuesday. It's still not here, but it's due to arrive Monday. So when I bring the box home, before I open it, I'll have a mop and bucket ready. There'll be towels. We're good to go.
That's right. I'm just excited so I can get more and permanently damage them and just make them irreparable.
I'm telling you, Sal, you triggered some people tonight showing those destroyed swarm.
I'm sure I did.
I can't even get one, and he's destroying them.
It's like, well, I did order like 9 of them, so.
All right. Well, before we show some runners up from the contest, we're going to get into the contest. I do want to get to the super chat from Werewolf by Lunchtime. He says, question for you all. Favorite superhero and why? Sal, you're our guest. You first.
Bobby Vala, because he makes my pee-pee tingle.
Favorite superhero would be Cable from Marvel.
Oh, that's an interesting choice. Okay.
Yep.
Unexpected.
Mostly because I was really confused about how his power worked. He showed up in the animated series and traveled through time, so I thought that was his power. But he's been my favorite ever since.
Cool. Tony? Favorite superhero?
Conan the Destroyer, because I'm trying to build a bridge with my friendship with Bobby. He's my favorite superhero.
Come on, it's the Hulk.
Yeah, it's the Hulk. It's the Hulk.
Yeah. You have a pretty extensive Hulk collection.
Yeah, I have an extensive amount of Hulk rage built up inside of me sometimes as well. And yeah. Are we going to talk about Book of Boba Fett tonight? Because my Hulk rage might come out.
Sure. Yeah. After this, we'll get into Book of Boba Fett for a few minutes. Bobby, favorite superhero and why?
Batman. Always been Batman.
But why?
Because he's a dude with no powers and he's a badass. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I've liked him ever since I was a kid. So maybe because he just had really good movies and shows, like 89 Batman and Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
So it was like he just, he was a front runner because of great content.
That's the
And
power
they had,
of parents and
I mean,
inheritance.
he had some great toy lines.
Yeah.
What was that, Sal?
Said his power is his parents' inheritance.
Yeah.
It's true.
I
Got that
saw
life-
someone say
Batman's. You talk first. I talk first.
I'll talk first. Someone online was making a joke. I wish I could remember. I wish I could credit the person, but they said Batman's superpower is his white privilege.
His ability to boss around an old butler.
Yeah.
Batman's probably my number 2 superhero. And why? Chicks dig the car.
Yeah. Mine is I went back and forth like as a kid who my favorite was, but I think now I could easily say Superman. Growing up with the Christopher Reeve movies, Superman was that the big blue Boy Scout. The Christopher Reeve movies with the score, Christopher Reeve himself. I just always loved Superman. It waned a little when Keaton came out. I definitely got into Batman for a while, but if I had to choose now, Superman. So thank you, Werewolf by Lunchtime. And one more. Nerd Rage Against the Machine. Thank you very much. He says, my impatience and waiting for my BBTS prompted me to buy 2 Riot Troopers off the Valaverse site. Well, that's
Thanks,
fine.
You do still have some stuff in stock, Bobby. Like, what do you have left in stock?
I have 2 cases of everything from Series 1 that is coming to Joe Fest. Because when we arrive at Joe Fest, I want every figure that we have on hand at the start of the convention. So,
No, what I meant, like, do you still have Riot Troopers available on the site? And
yeah, Riot Troopers are left and muzzle flashbacks are left. That's about it.
Okay.
no backpack gear sets?
There may be a handful. If anything, there's maybe like 5. But I'm not sure.
I need another backpack gear set. I love the backpacks. So, because it's just, to be honest, like in real world military, every soldier carries some kind of a backpack. You just can't carry the amount of equipment and ammunition and medical kit you need. When you see these movies and guys like Predator, I love the movie, but Schwarzenegger and his guys go into the jungle with carrying so little equipment. I was like, what are they eating? What are they drinking? Where's all the ammo coming from? No, you need. And I think the only guy who's got a backpack is the one who's got the radio. So,
Tony, if Jesse Ventura, who's a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus, doesn't have time to bleed, they don't have time to eat or drink either.
Fact. Thank you, Sal.
You're welcome.
Jesse Ventura is a fucking penis.
That gun he had, wasn't that like a
minigun?
Yeah, a minigun. But it was like off the site. Like that's not a real world gun. I mean,
it is.
It is,
It
but
is.
they're mounted on like Blackhawks, aren't they?
No, they're handheld.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Like
back
they
then they
are
were.
mounted on vehicles, but yeah, they're also handheld.
Oh,
Yeah, back then they weren't handheld. They've made much smaller ones now. You
Yeah.
see a real good example of one in the Winter Soldier when they had the fight on the bridge. One of the guys abseils down, and he's got a smaller version of it. But yeah, it's not practical.
Wasn't the one he had in Predator like gas powered or
It was plot powered.
okay?
It was what powered?
Plot powered.
plot powered. He said.
I mean, Terminator 2 made that gun famous.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Jeff McElway, thank you very much. He says, any chance we'll see Agent Grayson, Super Spy in Action Force?
No.
Who's that?
Yeah, I don't even know who that is, but I'm like, no. Sounds like a licensed character.
Yeah, I'm not sure the reference either. I mean, Dick Grayson? I don't know.
To
Jeff,
Thanks for the
let us know.
super chat, though, Jeff.
Yes, thank you very much.
discuss backpacks just a little bit more. I see a lot of people, like Jesse Ventura in that movie are all like how they're all kitted out. If you don't know or have never experienced it, ammunition weighs a lot. So, that minigun's going to run out of ammo if you burn through it in a minute and a half, Tony? Unless you have like crates and crates and crates.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, he leveled like half the jungle with that thing.
The funny thing is, not even he hit the Predator with Bill Duke's gun. Bill Duke had the M60, and he grabbed that gun. Bill Duke shot his M60 and hit the Predator, and then when he ran out of ammo, he picked up Blaine's minigun and wasted every bit of ammo he had just mowing down trees, and not one thing hit the Predator. So
Right.
it's kind of a silly scene. They wasted a lot of ammo in that scene.
John Papa Sergio, thank you very much. He says, sent the custom photos over to Valaverse Instagram.
Check them out.
Okay. Thank you, John. And we got one more. Pokey87. Thank you very much. He says, Bobby, it has to feel great to see your line take off so well. Congrats, sir, and thanks for the great figures. Can't wait to get more and do some customs.
Thank you. It is unbelievable. I can't tell you how awesome it is that this all like worked out, and you get into this, and it's all a gamble. Starting a business, and getting this all done, and the work it took. Being one person kind of running this company and getting it all done. It's like the things I did, the sacrifices I made, my own money that I spent, like getting this all done and having it work out. And now it's like to see where it has become, or where it's gotten to in such a short period of time. It's like stuff came out, it got here in November. We shipped everything out in December. Stuff went back up end of December, then through January, and then the last of it. And it's like seeing like the rabidness of people wanting this line. And every single one of my retailers reached out to me and said, can we reorder Series 1? That sort of thing. And then, the orders for Series 2 tripled what the orders for Series 1 were. So it's like, and then we're running a program currently on all the customers that did the Kickstarter, and then the new ones that came, and then the ones that did all the restocks, and we're trying to see the percentage of new customers we're getting on the line. And it's like I put every label on every single box that goes out, so I kind of like see all the names, and I know like who like I'm like, oh, that person's a new customer. And you can also tell like by their orders like who you can tell are new customers. But the line is growing. The line is so hot right now. The calls that I'm getting from companies and businesses and opportunities that are coming is unreal. Nothing I could talk about now, but man, the stuff that is coming down the pipe and the announcements that I'm going to be having in the next 6 months is going to be mind blowing. So it's crazy, and I'm super ecstatic about it.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you, Bobby.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Congrats, man. It's awesome to see someone pour so much time, work, and effort into their passion, and to have it pay off.
It's been a ride.
Yeah,
definitely been a ride.
Tony Horton's got a question here for you. What are your plans for selling? I think he's talking about the Series 1 product at Joe Fest. It's going to be chaos.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be crazy. People are it's going to be nuts to see people like fly to the booth. I'm going to try to keep it controlled as far as like I don't want someone to come to the booth and say I want 10 Steel Brigades. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Limit per customer. I'll be there working as a bouncer, and people are just going to have to behave like adults.
Yeah,
we're gonna have slammers there, but I'm gonna have the list of people who've already bought slammers. So one per household, one per person. So if your name's already on the list, you can't buy another slammer. I'm gonna do our best to make sure that this stuff gets out there for everyone. It's a limited run on Series slammers and things like that, but we're gonna control it as best we can. To make sure that people aren't buying everything that's left.
And you said you have 2 cases of each figure to bring to Joe Fest?
Yep.
Okay. So that's actually quite a lot. It's not like a Marvel Legends case where there's 8 figures.
Yeah, there's 20 figures per case. So basically 40 of every character coming to Joe Fest.
Yeah. So be there on Friday. Yeah, it won't last long. But you'll also probably have some Series 2 stuff as well.
We're gonna have all of Series 2.
There you go. Awesome. And just to clarify, Jeff said for a year, Dick stopped being Nightwing. So
gotcha.
I guess Dick was a super spy. All right.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Jeff.
Man, Dick Grayson, like, he got tired of doing everything. He was always like, what's the flavor of the week? Stop being Robin. Then he's like, I'm going to be Dick Grayson. Then he obviously becomes a detective. Batman's like, hey, be Batman for me. And he's like, no, I want to be my own man. Okay, I'm gonna hire this crazy dude over here with claws, and he's gonna be Batman. He's gonna fuck it all up. Oh, but then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna clean up that mess. Oh, and then you can be Batman for me for a couple months. It's like, yo, fuck Dick Grayson.
Nightwing is cool though.
Nightwing is cool. Nightwing's cool. But Dick Grayson's okay.
All right, we got one more super chat, and then I'm going to take a break from those if we get any more, so we can get into this contest.
I'll be back in just a second. Need a toilet break.
All right. Scott Hughes, thank you very much. He says, I still say Predator is the best G.I. Joe movie made. I won't argue that, actually. I mean, that's...
Billy
Besides
was
the alien, I mean, there
we'll
was...
ever get.
What's that, Sal?
Said Billy was the best spirit we'll ever get.
Yep.
Yeah, Billy.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite Joe figures.
Absolutely.
Speaking of...
Thank you, Scott.
been looking at getting that Night Force spirit for a little while now, and it floats anywhere between like 300 to 500 usually. And I'm like, if I see it for like under 3, I'll get it. And Bobby, out of the graciousness of his heart, he was like, hey, there's an eBay listing that ends today. It's at 300. And I was like, okay. And I woke up, placed my bid, and then it ended, and it sold for over $9,000.
What?
So,
what?
Yeah, I think someone went in there and just did that eBay snipe thing where they put an outrageous bid at the end that no one can cap it. So there's like, whatever. But I think someone did that. Someone else did it, and they matched each other, and then that just shot up. And now someone's on the hook for almost 10 grand for a figure that's worth like $300.
Yeah. Which now it's just like I said, it's just going to get relisted tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy. That's
Jeez,
not a rocket firing Boba Fett.
Yeah.
No.
I'll have to look to see, man. Those UK, some of those UK Joes, like the Blizzard, the Tiger Force Blizzard, the Marauders Spirit, the Tiger Force Hit and Run. Man, those things were crazy prices. They were crazy prices when I bought them like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, we see you. I will say no, but it's Bobby's line. Larry Hama action figure?
Hell no.
There you go.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Tony. You can stop yelling in the chat now. Okay, so, Tony's taking a piss. So we got a lot of submissions, actually. We got a ton at Final Call in the last hour yesterday. So I'm just going to share some pictures of those that did not win. And I'm sorry, I don't have names to match the pictures except for the winners. But you guys sent in a lot of pictures. It's awesome to see you guys having fun with your Action Force figures. This one's cool. That almost looks like Rollout. He's got the tan pants.
Yeah.
I like the Steel Brigade and the black trousers. I should say trousers, right? We got a Bloody Condor.
The Bloody Condor was awesome.
That's good. These are not the winners, by the way, just to reiterate. These are not the winners. We'll get to the winners in a minute. But there's definitely a lot of passionate Action Force fans out there. This one's awesome. Sal, I know you like it because it's got that skull for a head.
That's right.
This looks really cool.
I like the red on the Steel Brigade mask.
Yeah, a lot of work went into this one. Oh, that's very cool. I like the red X on one side of the visor. We got now. What is this?
That's the Mysterio skull head.
Oh, that's what that is. Yeah.
That's
okay.
What is it? That's the second release from the Lizard Wave, I think, because the first release had the green head, and then they changed it to white, I think.
Yeah, to make it less visible under the dome. So if one of these is yours, I mean, shout yours out in the chat. Looks like we got 2 stock ones and then the Mysterio headed one. Oh, I like that Captain America head on Steel Brigade. That's cool. And
Is that Captain America?
Yeah, that's the video game Captain America. That would be
Conan
like
O'Brien.
That'd be a good like alternate like Condor head sculpt almost.
That was a joke for that line, Tony. They put out that video game, which was like very loosely MCU based, and it was like, you've captured their stunt doubles, because all of them looked like dollar store versions of the real actors.
Yep.
Like, just enough to be like, oh, okay, I kind of see it, but it was like, you guys really didn't get those licensing agreements, did you?
And they all had really frumpy looking superhero suits too.
They did. Captain America looked like Captain America.
Yeah. And you get the MCU Luke Cage head there, and I don't know what that one is. That almost looks like Magneto, the X-Men movie Magneto.
Yeah, that might be Fassbender.
Fassbender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't have that figure, so I don't know.
Oh, we got the Punisher, John Bernthal Punisher head there. We got
the 2-pack Red Guardian head.
Red Guardian. We got some. We got some basic troopers and gear packs. Okay. Oh, this guy went all out. He painted them all red. Dang. That's pretty cool. A red swarm trooper.
Hell yeah. I like the idea of a Inferno squad. These are the things I conjure up in my brain. I was like, man, a red swarm would be cool. And we could just call them the Fire Ants, and they're like a flamethrower division.
Yeah. I wonder how we got that. What's that called? That weapon, Bobby?
The scythe.
A scythe. He must have used like some blue tack or something to get it stuck into that
Combat grip.
Combat grip, yeah. And then we got a Condor.
Night Ops.
What's that?
Kind of like a Night Ops Condor.
Yeah, like a Night Ops. Very cool. Then we got Condor with he swapped his arms out with Carrick, it looks like.
But not the shoulders.
Trooper. Huh?
But it's got the black shoulder, so he's obviously
he
swapped
it from the bicep down. That's a pretty easy heat and pop move right there. Got a Carrick. Oh, we got a Bone Collector in blue. That's cool. It looks like he painted the skull mask silver or like a gunmetal. Oh, we got look at my stuff guy. From Thor Ragnarok. I forget his name now.
I like that Dio piece though. What is that? Like a piece of spray painted PVC and some styrofoam?
Looks like it. Yep.
I might have to gank that idea. I wish I could give someone credit to it, but
with Deathlock's arm, I think, from Marvel Legends, which was actually against the rules, but I think that looks cool. The rules were all Action Force parts except you can use heads from different lines. And like I said, call yourself out in the chat because I can't match names to all these pictures.
I can go back through emails, but it'll be time consuming.
Yeah, it would take forever. I really like this one with the painted face. I think that's the Bone Collector head, I think.
Yeah, this guy said it was his version of G.I. Joe's Hit and Run, like a Night Ops Hit and Run.
Nice.
Okay.
That's on my docket here in the next couple of days. Whenever I remember to do it, I'm actually going to see if the not Mythic Legions, the Articulated Icon Feudal Series, those ninjas or samurai that have like the bottom skull things. I'm going to see if those will fit on their faces underneath the helmets.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there you go. We got Steel Brigade. I'm not sure how.
He just has the
Riot armor.
The armor.
Yeah, he's a different armor in the saw.
Different armor, and I think that's the gear pack
That's the Riot gear pack.
Right
all
gear
black.
pack. Yeah. We've got an Urban Trooper with the Urban gear pack and Steel Brigade's grenade launcher, right?
Yep.
That's Sarge and Carrick's vest. But there's a lot. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
That's the Scarab.
Yeah.
Scarab look. That head. Okay, moving on. More Gold Steel Brigade. Anyway, there's a ton of these. I'm not going to get through them all. I do like this custom Scarab. It looks like he changed up the yellow. That looks more yellow than the Swarm. Or maybe it could just be the lighting or the camera or a filter. But that's very cool. But let's get into our winners. So in third place,
what's the third place prize, Ryan?
A Riot Trooper and gear pack. Is that right, Bobby?
Yep.
Riot Trooper and gear pack. This is actually really cool. I'm going to share my screen. Third place is Carlo Navarro. With his,
Who is in the chat, I believe. So
Yes, he
congratulations,
is.
Carlo.
I did see him earlier. Congratulations to you. You're going to get the Riot Trooper in gear pack or Urban.
Right.
Right.
This is cool. He's fully camoed out with the face paint. I'm digging this Condor. Use one of the... Actually, that might just be Condor's body. I'm not sure. Well, no, the arms aren't Condor.
No,
he might
because
have
the full sleeves.
Yeah, he might have used the Urban or the Spec Ops or something. But that's a lot of paint work. I don't know if he did it by hand.
It was a great paint job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
excellent.
it's been designed to actually look like British camouflage that I've got behind me here.
Now, to claim their prize, who should they email? torturegenius@gmail.com or Valaverse at...
What I will do is I will forward their email. So just so everyone is aware, all the entries came to me, and then at the deadline, I compiled all the photos and sent them to Bobby without telling him whose entry there was, so there could be no bias with who he picked.
Yep.
So what I'll do, I will forward the email to Bobby, so he's got the email address for third, second, and first place, and go from there.
So there's Carlo in the chat. Thank you very much for entering the contest, and thanks for watching the show, of course. Excellent job on this camoed out Condor. Very cool. So our second place winner did something really cool. He put a LED light, I'm assuming it's an LED light,
Yep.
into the head of a stormtrooper, which is freaking awesome.
That's really cool.
That's
Now,
what
he
we
didn't
call
give us his
lightning
name,
bug.
but we have his email address. It's bsimon9427. I'll leave the last part out so that no one sends you any nudes. But it's bsimon9427. If you're here watching, shout it out, but you're going to have to confirm with your email, obviously.
Damn, Bart, you couldn't even put your name in the submission?
Oh, is that Bart?
Yeah. Come on, man.
All right.
Come
Congrats,
on.
Bart.
Now that you won, I'm going to give you shit about it. Come on.
And what's really cool is that he put like the battery pack for this into the flight pod on the back, and he's there's some additional photos. You got the little Swarm logo on the back of the flight pack. There's a little red button in the center, and you just click that red button to turn the lights inside the Swarm head on and off. It was a really, really cool custom. I'm glad Bobby. I'm glad this one got a prize. You know, I was seeing these entries trickle in throughout the week, and Bobby kind of got them all dumped on him on Friday night. When the deadline closed, he's like, right, here you go, pick some winners. This
is a custom in the truest sense of the word. Like, it doesn't get more custom than this. This is very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. By the way, Tony, did Bart post up a video recipe for how to do this, or on his Instagram or something? Because I would actually be interested in making one of these myself.
I don't know, but Bart is in the chat. Let's see if he can tell us. He sent me quite a few photos of the one custom with the light up eyes. So yeah.
Bart, if you are on Facebook in the Legions of Valaverse group, please post those pictures up in there. This is really cool. So congrats to you. You're getting a signed copy of Action Force number 5, and that's signed by Sergeant Slaughter.
Mm-hmm. Number 4, issue 4.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. 4. I've been saying issue 5 all week, which I thought was odd because Sarge is on the cover of issue 4. So that's good to know. Condor's on the cover of issue 5.
And Bart says, Ryan, I can tell you it's very easy. Okay, cool. As long as you have like an Amazon link to where I can buy that little LED light or whatever you used. That's really, really cool. So congrats to you, man. You got a comic book coming your way, signed by the Sarge. And then our grand prize winner. And by the way, these were all picked by Bobby. He didn't have anyone's names, just like Tony said, totally unbiased. But this is the man himself, the guy that designed these figures. He picked his favorites from all the submissions we got. And we must have got like 50 submissions at least.
I think we're a little bit more, maybe about 60 submissions. So
Yeah.
before we show this, Bobby, you want to tell us what the grand prize is?
The grand prize is one of these guys, a coveted Sergeant Slammer that just went up this week.
Nice.
115 of them.
And there's no sticker on that. You'll throw a sticker on it for him?
Yeah, I put the stickers on
go.
myself, so they come.
Because I know we were about to get comments about that.
Yeah,
everyone's like,
you'll have a sticker. Don't worry.
everyone's like, I saw some comments today. Everyone's like, they're all number one. It's like, no, they're not individually numbered. It's one of 500.
Look at the way Jax used to do the WWE exclusives, like the one of 100 or one of 500. They were all done like that. They weren't individually numbered.
So if you're in the chat and this is yours, be sure to shout us out shout yourself out because all we have is your email address. But first prize goes to Hager Donald 53 at his email address. And he's got this red and black Steel Brigade. It looks really awesome. He even modded the gun.
Mm-hmm.
It says undead. It's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Bobby,
Yeah,
why
this
was
is-
this your number one pick?
I'm a sucker for red and black, man. Ever since I was a kid, like red and black, something about it just it goes together very nicely. And then
Wow,
You know-
and you didn't even design the 3POA logo.
and I didn't
There we
even
go.
design it. Look at that.
There we go. It's Caitlin Hager in the chat. There she is.
Nice
Or
job.
is it Catlin or Caitlin? I'm not sure. There he
Nice
is
job.
or she is. Don't know. But
You won first prize. Congratulations.
congratulations.
Nice job.
You're getting yourself a Sergeant Slammer, the very coveted Sergeant Slammer, limited to 500. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. Yep.
So, Tony, how did you say they should reach out to claim their prize? Or we already have their email. So,
Yeah, I already have their email, so I will forward those 3 emails to Bobby, and then Bobby can just reply to their email address asking where it needs to be shipped to. So congratulations to the winners, and, and thanks Bobby as well for offering up the prizes, man, for this competition. It's very, very nice of you. People think you're an asshole, but you're not really. You're just my kind of asshole.
I mean, let's not oversell it. I mean, kind of.
Every now and then.
But hopefully everyone that entered followed the rules and they are in the continental United States.
There were a few people that weren't, but they let me know.
Okay, great.
But yeah, I'm pretty certain these winners are all in the continental United States. So congratulations once again.
Nice job.
Catlin is a dude. So there you go. Catlin. He said it's like a cat. Meow. And I'm a dude.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm an idiot. So there you go. So congrats to Catlin and congrats to Bart and congrats to Carlo. They're all here watching. That's awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And your customs are awesome. And the prizes will be on your way shortly.
Thank you for all the submissions, guys. And for those of you that, destroyed your figures to make these customs.
Jeff Morris says Bobby is not an asshole. He just plays one on TV. So we're about at that time. We try to keep it at 90 minutes. We kind of mentioned the Book of Boba Fett. I know people want to hear our thoughts because the Book of Boba Fett changed so much with episode 5 and 6. It's pretty much not the Boba Fett show anymore. I'll just say episode 5, when the Mando came back, it was Mando season 2.5. Amazing. The Mando in that episode is everything we wanted, at least I wanted Boba Fett to be. And I said it on our initial review of episode 1, John Wick in a jetpack. That is who Boba Fett is to me. But that's what the Mando is now. And I'm kind of okay with that. I'm not okay with what they're doing with Boba. But this last episode, bringing back Luke Skywalker, I'm a sucker. Like, I get it. CG is not quite there yet. But when I see Luke on screen,
I'm with
I'm
you,
in,
Ryan. I'm with
I
you.
love it.
Woo.
Yep. Absolutely loved it. Tony, let us have it.
Have you heard the latest rumor that Boba Fett might actually cameo in the final episode? He might be in it. He might actually even have a speaking part.
I can't believe he's been in two, like, the last two episodes literally featured Boba Fett in only one of the last two for about 10 seconds, and he had no lines.
Yeah. So since I put out my Book of Boba Fett video, which was very polarizing to people, because some people, if you don't think the same way they think and you have a different opinion, then you're just an asshole and they don't want to know you anymore. But I've had people going back to that video since and leaving comments, and it's like, oh, I bet you regret canceling your Disney subscription now, and I told you should wait out. It's like, it doesn't stop the first half of this series being utter dog crap.
Mm-hmm.
And I want an entire series that's good. No, Boba Fett is still a giant daydreaming pussy. There's no way around it. But what I will say is, I cancelled my Disney subscription and then I renewed it, not because of the Book of Boba Fett. I don't know if it's the same in America, but here in Australia, Disney, this wholesome family entertainment organization, that's how you can stream the new show Pam and Tommy. And that show has got a talking penis. There's sex scenes. The chick gets her tits out all the time. This is on Disney Plus.
No,
It's an awesome show. Yeah.
Are you?
No,
I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. I'll see you later.
There's 3 episodes out so far. It's fucking brilliant. It is. Yeah, Sebastian Stan, who, he should just be playing Luke Skywalker rather than a computer playing Luke Skywalker. But, he plays Tommy. What was Tommy's surname?
Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee. He plays Tommy Lee, right? And there's this one scene where he's all drug fucked and he's got Pamela Anderson back to his hotel, like, for the first time, but he hasn't had sex with her yet. And he goes in the toilet in the bathroom to psych himself up. And his penis starts talking to him, and it's all animated, and it's like moving around, having a conversation with him. And I was like, this is the best thing I've seen on TV in 3 years. So there's my rant. Pam and Tommy is way better than the Book of Boba Fett. And even though I've renewed my subscription and I have gone and watched the episodes, I'm sorry, but member berries aren't doing it for me. I don't understand. So Grogu's now on this planet with Luke. They leave us on a bit of a cliffhanger. Are you going to take the chainmail armor? Are you going to take the lightsaber and go back to Mando? You fucking know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you do.
Luke and Grogu, and possibly even
Ahsoka.
what's the hot chick with the penises on her head?
Ahsoka.
They're all going to rock up in Tatooine as well. And that's why Boba Fett will literally be a cameo, because it'll be the Mandalorian, Grogu, Ahsoka, Fennec Shand show for the final episode. And Boba Fett is going to ride a Rancor, because they laid that little plot seed earlier, but they haven't explained how the fuck he's ever going to learn. He's going to come riding in on a Rancor, and I'm concerned that I'm going to fucking smash my TV when it happens.
I love the idea of Boba Fett riding a Rancor.
I can't get that.
I do, if they explain how it becomes achievable, not just a throwaway scene with Machete in space, where he's like, the first person it lays eyes on, what do they fall in love with them, and
They imprint on them.
Yeah.
they imprint on them.
Yeah, it's weird that the worst part of the Book of Boba Fett is Boba Fett and his story. I mean, they should have just called it Mando Season 3 and consolidated Boba Fett's backstory to like one episode. Just gotten it out of the way,
Yep. I do like that, Grogu's got some mithril rings and a shirt to wear. Now it's like, we're overlapping Lord of the Rings here. I'm like, ooh, give me some more here, baby. Maybe Aragorn's going to show up as some of the muscle in the final episode. I dig that.
I mean, was anyone surprised that it was chainmail? Because when the armorer was forging
she
that
made all the
spear,
rings. It was very obvious. But
yeah, I thought it was pretty obvious it was going to be chainmail.
It would have been really cool if she made him a little Mando helmet.
That would have been cool with his ears sticking out the side.
With his ears sticking out, yeah.
Yeah. Sal, let's hear it. What do you think?
I think that Boromir was a hero, and I will fight anyone who says he wasn't.
He was definitely a hero. He took several arrows. Total hero.
To still lose the hobbits anyway, but that's not the point. He died for a noble cause. I don't know. It's not the Book of Boba Fett. I don't know. It was the first episode. I was like, eh. Second episode, I was like, eh. And it just kind of got worse from there. The most Vespas were kind of bad. The flashbactas were getting really annoying. And I was kind of upset in episode 6 that Ahsoka's like, all right, deuces. I'm like, no, tell him more about his dad. Tell him more about his dad. Don't leave.
So I hope we get more, or I hope we get their first meeting and just like a half-hour-long conversation between just the two of them. Like in a flashback scene or something of when Ahsoka first met Luke. Yeah. But they've definitely improved the CGI on Luke, but I think there's definitely the uncanny valley is still there. But the most glaring thing to me was his voice.
Yeah,
it just seemed very robotic. It seemed
it's
very
a little robotic.
I've heard that it was used like, I don't know who did the dialogue, but I guess there was some kind of like audio algorithm or something like that, kind of like programmed what he would have sounded like or something. I don't know if that's the way we're going now, where we're going to have like, I don't know, Marlon Brando in movies from now, like a young Marlon Brando with a computer voice, if that's the way of the future. But I mean, they reboot everything else, so why not dig up some dead guys?
Yeah.
Well, now that you mention it, Sal, it would be good if Steve McQueen played Desert Rat in the Action Force Part 2 movie.
That's true.
Good call. Good call. As long as
are we going to talk about Cad Bane or what?
So
I'm a huge Cad Bane fan. So go ahead.
I would say I love Cad Bane, and I'm glad he showed up. For those that don't know, this last season of Clone Wars that we got was not the last season that was originally made. There's actually a showdown duel between Cad Bane and Boba, and that's how Boba gets the ding in his helmet, and he actually kills Cad Bane in that scene. So, I mean, it was never canon to begin with, but now it's definitely not, and I'm wondering if this will be their chance to kind of bring that scene back and have it play out, which would be truly a waste of Cad Bane to bring him back for 2 episodes to kill him off, because he was such a cool character in Clone Wars.
Yeah, it would be good, if they go forward with a Boba Fett season 2, to have Cad Bane be the villain of that season. Mm-hmm. I mean, Cad Bane he's that cool. I mean, and I get where they've taken Boba Fett now. He's not very intimidating or threatening at all. Mm-hmm. But the Boba Fett we wanted, a good foil for him would have been Cad Bane.
Right.
So
my only thing is, I'm like, where did he come from? Because he's walking out in the middle of the desert into this town.
Yep.
Shoots the sheriff, kills his deputy. He's like, all right, guess I'll just walk back now.
Later.
Like, no one goes after him.
I'd like to think his speeder bike was just out of frame or something.
Right.
But who knows? Yeah. It was all style.
Yeah, you Star Wars fans always make these logic leaps to make things make sense when the showrunners can't be bothered to do it for us. Do you think that Cobb Vanth is dead?
No,
he got shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're bringing everyone in for this final battle. Cobb Vanth is going to be there.
I'm glad they didn't I'm glad they didn't kill Cobb Vanth, because I liked him in The Mandalorian season 2. I liked him even better in this episode. He just had the opening scene where he's there with the
The spice traders. Yeah.
The pokes. What are they?
Pikes.
The
The pikes.
peekaboos.
Pikes.
Yeah.
Catfish
He
head.
had such charisma about him, and yeah, I think that was his best scene so far that appeared in Star Wars.
That
Yeah.
whole scene was very spaghetti western.
Right.
Oh, 100%.
And I just like Timothy Olyphant a lot, and I'd hate to see him get killed off.
Yep, same.
I would like to see him get another shot at doing a Hitman movie that's good.
Yeah.
Pokey87, thank you very much. He says, Tony, how cool was it to find that octopus in the wild in your Desert Rat 2 video?
How do I explain this? It's very common for for me to see stuff like that. So, you know, I remember when I first moved to Port Hedland, and you'd be out on the rocks picking oysters, and you'd see octopuses and that. It'd be, I was quite surprised I was able to spot it. You know, it was quite well camouflaged. For anyone who doesn't know what he's talking about, I did like another vlog episode of Becoming Desert Rat where I'm out training, and I was out on the rocks near the beach, eating oysters straight out of the rocks, and yeah, saw this little octopus and captured it on film. So, thank you for the super chat, Pokey87. Appreciate it.
So Timothy Ward has a comment that I'm reading right now, and he asks, "Will there be a Rancor toy with a saddle held on by a screw?" Which,
Didn't the Force Unleashed Rancor have a saddle?
yeah, he did. It was basically the vintage collection when they just painted them up differently.
Right, yeah.
But I'm thinking now, since that HasLab, like, clearly they launched it because they knew that was coming, the whole Rancor thing. So I'm wondering if they were like, oh, here's the cardboard backdrop and some bones, instead of, I don't know, giving us the rig that Boba might use, because that would have been a spoiler.
That would have been a big selling point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have gotten them the extra 500 backers they needed to fund it.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm excited for the last episode. I'm hoping it's more Mando season 2.5 than Book of Boba Fett. I hope we get more of that. And I think we will. I think we're going to see it all come together, and a big final battle. So
I hope it's like The Hobbit, like Battle of the Five Armies, where like everyone shows up. I want Dengar, I want Bosk, I want IG-88, I want Forlom, I want like everyone to show up. I want it to be like
chicken if Bosk shows up.
I knew you would.
Bosk versus Black Chrysanthemum.
My boy Bosk would eat it. I know he would, but
yeah.
I'd still like to see that fight.
That'd be cool.
It would be
They're
cool
going to have
if,
Grace Jones, Conan the Destroyer.
Yup.
Commando.
Going to show up.
And it still won't be as good as Pam and Tommy, I'm telling you. That show is awesome.
I don't know where his lore went after the comics, but if they brought in like Joda Cass, like that would be fucking cool.
Joda Cass would be very cool. All right, so that's where we're at with Book of Boba Fett.
I will say this. Sorry, one more thing I was thinking of. The fact that they took Book of Boba Fett and made it a Mando season 2.5. I do have high hopes that maybe the Obi-Wan series will just turn into a Qui-Gon series like halfway through.
Man, that's a good point. If Liam Neeson doesn't show up as a Force Ghost, that's a big miss on their part.
I might cancel my Disney Plus series if that doesn't happen. You gotta. he's my all-time favorite Jedi. You got to bring him back. You left his story hanging and never fulfilled it. I know he showed up in Rebels or some shit like that, but it's not the same.
So my thing with Qui-Gon, I love Qui-Gon. And to me, Qui-Gon is the type of Jedi that Luke becomes post Return of the Jedi. Like, in my opinion, Qui-Gon was what the Jedi should have been.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah. The council had it wrong.
Yeah,
they had become.
He needed to live, and everyone else die is what needed to happen.
he was kind of like the last remnant of the true Jedi.
Yes,
he should have sacrificed Obi-Wan to Darth Maul, and then he should have survived Order 66, and then we would have been straight.
So there's a super chat from JJ Lee. I think we might have missed it.
We did.
Yeah, back at 9:19. He says, "Hey guys, I'm looking to paint the arms of Republic Guard to match Karak's vest to make a full bomber jacket. Any recommendations on the paint, Bobby?"
I mean, I guess I mean, when I do the paint masters, I do them in acrylic. But it's like I'm painting resin, so I'm priming them and painting it. So you'd have to ask one of the seasoned customizers what they use, to bond with PVC easier.
Thank you, Sal.
I'm not sure if he means that or if he means like
the color.
Actually, what the color is, of
Um, I could look up the Panto number, but we might have changed stuff as we molded stuff and the factory started doing test shots. So I couldn't tell you. I would say just mix and do some swatches and try to match as best you can with that.
There you go.
Thanks for the super chat, JJ Lee. Sorry we missed it. Me and Ryan both missed it.
Sorry about that, man. This thing was moving pretty fast. All right. Well, I think that wraps up the show. We only went a little bit over time this week. So, Sal, you're our guest. Where can everyone follow you?
You can find me at 2 Cents Toys on all the social media platforms, though I'm really only active on Instagram and YouTube. So if you try to reach out to me on Facebook or Twitter, good luck. I really don't use the Facebook page at all. It's pretty much a desert town. But that's pretty much it. If you want to see how I made that swarm, or who I call Icarus version 1, the video comes out Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So it's a time lapse. So there's music and all that, but I explain what I do, and it's a sped up time lapse, but it's slow enough you can kind of get the gist of it. So, I do lots of customs. Sometimes you can find me at Valaverse HQ, packing orders and shooting the shit with Bobby. Beyond that, I'm Sal, and it was excellent finally getting a chance to be on the show. These 3 guys are 3 of my best friends I've ever had, so having a Saturday available to be on was a blessing.
Yeah.
And it's not a one-off, Sal, man. Next time you have a Saturday off, you let us know, and we'd happily have you back on again, man.
Absolutely.
Happily.
Anytime.
Yeah, baby.
A link to Sal's channel is in the description, so please click it, subscribe to him, and you got to see how we made that Stormtrooper. But Sal's figure reviews are quick to the point. You're in, you're out. Informative, tells you everything
funny.
You need to know.
Very funny.
And they're funny.
Yeah, I keep my videos short because the way I look at it, if you're at Walmart, Target, wherever you find a figure like, oh, do I really want this? And if you go to my channel and I happen to have made a video about it, they're like 5 to 6 minutes long. I tell you what it does, where I got it, how much I paid for it, and it should be enough to give you kind of an idea what you'd be getting yourself into. And again, it's like 5 minutes long, so you can make up your mind while you're in the store instead of buying it, getting home, regretting it, and having to drive back and return it.
There you go. Tony, everyone can find you right here on Analog Toys, and your Instagram.
Yeah, so my Instagram is very much kind of desert rat focused, whereas the Facebook page is just channel focused. So updates what's going on the channel. But obviously here, I will be filming a video later this afternoon. It won't be ready for a while. There's a lot of editing to do, but I asked my patrons to submit some video clips if they were interested. I'm doing a video called Tipping the Scales, where it's talking about us basically playing with our action figures when we were kids, where we were mixing different scales and, what different rules did people have for them, and, how did they stretch boundaries and stuff like that. So, I'm working on that this afternoon. Looking forward to getting that video out probably in about a week's time. We've got one last super chat here.
Yep.
And I may or may not be in that video for all you people listening.
Sal is in that video. Noah's Game Over TV. Thank you very much. What's up, guys? Are you going to post the other customs on Instagram or Facebook somewhere that didn't make the podcast?
Yeah. Post them in the Legions group. If you missed the deadline,
I'll post them in the Legions group for sure. Yeah. So if you're not in the Legions group on Facebook, just send your request. Answer the questions the pre-authorization to join the group questions. And yeah, I'll make a post in the Legions group with all of the customs that were submitted. Absolutely. And then you can tag yourself in your custom photo so that we know which one you made. Bobby, where can everyone follow you?
Trying to remember where people can find me nowadays. Probably on BigBadToy.com. Valaverse everywhere. Valaverse.com. Valaverse on Facebook. Valaverse on Instagram. Valaverse on YouTube. And then here every other week on the 3POA, baby.
Love it. And definitely subscribe to the Valaverse YouTube because a lot more content will be coming very soon.
I just hired a new employee, and he's doing an awesome job so far. And he's going to be coming up with a lot of new content for the channels, and it's gonna be great. So there's gonna be more stuff coming.
Awesome. And I am Ryan, also known as Laser Pants. You can find me Friday nights on the Infinity Equation podcast on the Infinity Equation channel right here on YouTube, and Twitter and Instagram at LaserPants81. So from all of us here at the 3POA podcast, later.
And may the force be with Pam and Tommy.